and afternoons at 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. Nick, Cleveland has consistently been ranked at the top of the odds boards where you can bet on it. You look at Kalshi, it's the most likely destination. LeBron spending his summer back in Akron. All of these things seem to be adding up to LeBron heading back to Cleveland to put the perfect storybook ending on his career. How does this morning's news of the Donovan Mitchell Supermax affect whether LeBron can come back to Cleveland or not?
Well, I don't know that it's like a driving force that, the Cavs are trying to prove that Donovan's here long term just because, I think LeBron's going to be here max 2 years and then retire. But do I think it's a bad thing? Do I think it hurts? Absolutely not. I mean, this is another sign of a player wanting to stay in Cleveland. And it's funny, like I have my friends in baseball circles that go, look at player movement in the NBA. Salary cap isn't going to fix the player movement in Major League Baseball. And I'm like, I've watched Donovan Mitchell sign 3 contracts, 1 in Utah and now 2 in Cleveland. That doesn't happen in baseball, a guy signing 3 major contracts in a small market. So it's a great sign for Cleveland, and I think it can only help the way, I guess, maybe the Cavs and Donovan are perceived around the NBA, that they do have a long-term commitment, that it's not just wait till next summer and find out.
Nick, it was a whimper that the Cavs left the postseason with, but I have to think the fact that they come back with their lineup intact, they are happy with, especially bringing James Harden back. There's lots of people that don't believe that's a good thing, but the Cavs seemed sold on Harden and Mitchell together in the backcourt. And the question would be, where does LeBron fit into things? Is it Max Strus on the way out? Is it Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen? How does this lineup look if LeBron does, in fact, decide to come home to Cleveland?
So I think this has been fun to watch people try and figure out how it looks. It's funny. I think Max Strus, I'm glad you said his name because I might not have remembered to throw this one in there. I think Max Strus is the kind of guy that LeBron would love to play around because he is from that Miami culture and has brought some of that culture here to Cleveland. I think Jarrett Allen might be the odd man out if the Cavs can find a wing defender that maybe a big wing defender to play alongside LeBron. Another guy to watch would be Dennis Schroeder because Dennis is making about $14 million. And if LeBron comes here, you really don't need a backup point guard because you'll just kind of split those duties between Donovan, James Harden, and LeBron. So I think the Cavs, if they could find the perfect piece to go in that lineup that you mentioned, would definitely part off with Jarrett Allen. It feels like that makes a lot of sense. The problem is then that opens up a hole at center, or at the very least a backup big. Because I don't know if you've watched Thomas Bryant play. He is the ultimate heat check player and somebody that I do not want to see on the court in the playoffs ever again.
Nick Wilson of 92.3 The Fan, afternoons there in Cleveland with us as we play the LeBronchler, bouncing from city to city here on Westwood One Sports, trying to figure out where LeBron may land and how they feel about it in those towns. And I'll wrap you up, Nick, with this. If LeBron does come back to Cleveland, do the fans there, does the organization there, do the media there believe that it gives the Cavs a chance to get over the hump and win a title, and it's more than just a farewell tour?
Yeah, it's interesting. I do think you're going to see a lot of people flip that switch and say the Cavs are now the favorite in the East, at least from the Cleveland perspective, because LeBron coming home has that implication. I'm just coming off vacation, though, and I was thinking about it because I had heard a couple people, that reached out to me and said, expect it, he's coming home, stuff like that. And you never know what's true and what isn't when it's with LeBron, just because he tends to move in silence. But I would just be happy that LeBron's back. Like, LeBron has played in Cleveland since, starting in when I was a junior in high school. And I've watched this guy go through every phase of his career. And so, as a Cavs fan, while I might, as a media member, go, all right, I think this makes you better equipped to win a championship, anything that happens with LeBron on his farewell tour is going to be gravy with me. because it's just been such an honor to watch this guy play basketball and grow as a human being and grow as a all-time great. It would kind of break my heart if I watched it anywhere other than Cleveland. And if it is in Cleveland, man, I'm just going to sit back, kick my legs up for the next year or two, and just really enjoy every second, because it finally will be the end for LeBron, and that's going to be a bittersweet moment for Cleveland. But hopefully we get that front row seat.
He's the co-host of the Afternoon Drive, Nick Wilson, alongside Jonathan Petterlin. You can listen to it inside your Odyssey app on 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. Actually, one more thing before I let you run, Nick. Just give me a number, percentage chance that LeBron is with the Cavs this year.
I'll go 60%. And that 40% is entirely built by my self-doubt.
I love it. Nick, thanks so much for the Cleveland point of view as we play the LeBronchular. And here's to the Cavs, whether it's with LeBron or not, taking another step forward next year. Thanks again.
Appreciate you, bud.
Yep, Nick Wilson from 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. 60%. I'm going to keep track of the math here and see how much over 100% we end up at after talking to folks from Miami, San Francisco, Cleveland, and now Philly. My good friend Jack Fritz, afternoons on 94 WIP in Philly, joins us to play the LeBronchular. First things first, Jack. That name, clever, cute, or it doesn't really fit? Sounds more like a sea creature of some sort. LeBron, the Bachelor. You're with me, right?
Sounds like a sea creature, but I do appreciate the effort. I mean, like LeBron roulette. I don't know, but
that's okay.
If you gave me more time, I could have thought of something, but I like where your head's at for sure. Are we talking about Paul Skeen's struggles, or are we talking about LeBron today?
Okay, that's it for Jack Fritz here on Westwood. No, I'm going to let that slide, Jack.
I'm just messing.
I know. You're from Philly. If you don't take shots at people when they're not looking, by all means, it would be out of character. So let me start with this. If I would have asked you a week ago how you felt about the Sixers going into this season, and if you thought adding LeBron James had any level of reality to it, what would you have said?
Well, I would have said the Sixers were dead. No one was interested in them. And because me and Spike, my co-host on the afternoon show, he hosts the biggest Sixers podcast in the world. And he was even saying, even our people are kind of just out because there really is no hope. It's like you have to wait for the Embiid thing to almost run its course before you can move on. And Edgecombe's fun and Maxey's fun, but man, they felt really, really dead. And then out of nowhere, they traded for Jaylen Brown, who, I don't know, I have my problems with just from the standpoint of he's a ball hog and doesn't move the basketball, but still he's a top 15 player in the NBA. It's exciting. It's awesome. He's a top 6 MVP guy. And all of a sudden there's this new life that feels like it's been breathed back into the Sixers. So they felt dead. And then if you told me they were getting LeBron, I would have said, you're crazy. And I sit here today, and I still don't think they're going to get him, but I certainly believe that if he wants to win a title, I do think Philadelphia gives him a very, very good opportunity to do that. So it's really, really interesting. And from a sports talk radio perspective, I couldn't thank the king more.
Jack Fritz of 94 WIP afternoons there in Philly, the WIP afternoon show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz. Check them out inside your Odyssey app. What's the reaction from fans? Because LeBron, I remember back, I think it was January when the Lakers were in Philly and they beat the Sixers. And LeBron almost waxed poetic about coming to Philly over the years and how he felt about Philadelphia fans. Is there a mutual respect there? Or are Philly fans doing their thing where they're kind of casting a little bit of a side eye, do we really want to buy into this or not?
Well, I think that there's a lot of people here who before last week were not huge LeBron fans. And then the second it was he might be a Sixer, there's been a big turn of he is one of the best players of all time. And, just really talking themselves into LeBron. But I wouldn't say it's this overwhelming go get him, got to have him kind of thing, because we kind of went through this in 2018 when he was a free agent and we were, he was visiting the local private schools. Those reports were out there. Someone saw him at Wawa, and then the charade of they flew the Sixers officials out to LA to meet with them, and they didn't even send LeBron or Rich Paul. It was like the guys below them. So I think like we've kind of went through this charade before. I think there's this like skepticism, feeling like maybe we're being used. So I think people would be obviously thrilled, but I think it's more skeptical than this big groundswell of we're going to get LeBron.
I bet LeBron gets a salad at Wawa, which is kind of blasphemous.
I don't know what his order would be. It'd
be a salad.
I don't know if he's a gas station. I don't know if he's a gas station food guy, to be honest with you.
That's probably a solid point. Yeah. Jack Fritz of 94 WIP in Philly with us, playing the LeBronchler as we try to figure out what it would look like in each city that LeBron may be headed to. We've rolled through Cleveland, and now we're on Philly. And I guess the question is this, Jack. If everybody's feeling that much better about the Sixers now after the Jaylen Brown deal, and I have to think everybody's feeling that much better. It sounds like they are. Does anybody in Philly look at, whether we're talking fans, media, organization, do they look at LeBron as maybe the final piece to a championship puzzle? Or do they look at this team and say, well, no, we're already capable of contending just based on everything else that's happened in the Eastern Conference? Like, we believe we can gun for the Knicks now, even if we don't have LeBron.
No, I think that people still would view LeBron as the missing piece. I just don't know if they want to deal with the LeBron thing, where it feels like everything's about LeBron, and we kind of have this new star in Jaylen Brown. Maybe we want to see that grow a little bit before just jumping into the LeBron James sweepstakes. I think people would view him as the missing piece. It kind of reminds you a little bit of when Moses joined the team, in 82, where he was viewed as the missing piece. I don't think Jaylen Brown is the missing piece. I think he's a key part of it. But all of a sudden, like, if you had LeBron and he can, the appeal to me with LeBron would be that he could just be the point guard, and he wouldn't be relied upon to score necessarily. Obviously, we know he can score, but this team doesn't have a great ball handler. And if you're LeBron, you're like, hold on, I can bring the ball up. I'm not going to be relied upon to score. I got Tyrese Maxey I can throw the ball to. He can go score. BJ Edgecombe, similar thing. Then you add Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid. Like, it's a pretty dang good situation for a 41-year-old to where he doesn't feel like he has to do everything in the world to win a basketball game. So, I think some people have a little bit of a LeBron fatigue because he's been around so long. Certainly my co-hosts on the afternoon show both loathe LeBron, even though they know that it would bring great content. But I do think that nationally, even, I think the Sixers are being a little undersold as what LeBron could do for this team.
All right, before I let you run, Jack, just give me a number. Percentage chance LeBron is a Sixer to start next season.
I'll put it at about 10%. 10%.
Okay, 10%
Not super
chance.
high, but definitely a shot.
So Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber, so you're telling me there's a chance level of chance.
Yeah. Well, a little higher than that. I believe that was 1 in a million.
That's a good point. It was.
1 in a million.
Good job remembering the Dumb and Dumber math, Jack. It was great to catch up with you, my friend. We'll do it again soon. Thanks.
Well, if there's ever a movie that's on my brain wavelengths, it's certainly Dumb and Dumber. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you.
See you, Jack Fritz, afternoons on 94 WIP in Philly. So he says 10%. Let's pivot to one of the first places people were talking about when LeBron decided to not return to LA. It was right up the coast in the Bay Area as we play the LeBronchler. Who will accept this rose? Who will get the final rose from LeBron as he looks for a home for the 2026-27 NBA season? Daryl, the Guru Johnson joins us. Middays, 95.7 The Game in San Francisco. You can listen to Steiny and Guru inside your Odyssey app, AUDACY. Daryl, good morning. Thank you for jumping in with us here to play the LeBronchler. And it feels a little bit like Golden State while they're still solidly there in the LeBron sweepstakes. A lot of the heat has come off their name after the initial assertions, a week and a half ago, that was going to be the landing spot. How's it feel in the Bay Area?
Chris Mack, thanks for the invite, and I'll tell you how it feels. I'm a big movie buff, but I feel like Warrior fans feel like we're watching something about Mary. And LeBron is Mary. We're all in line, hoping he chooses us. And you are correct. Last week, I didn't believe LeBron was leaving L.A. You know, I think he's a narcissist. I know he is, but I appreciate what he is as a ball player. And when Draymond Green opted out, which nobody expected, they got a relationship. And, you know, Steph Curry and LeBron played on the Olympic team. So we bought that, Warrior fans, hook, line, and sinker. And I'm thinking to myself, this thing might really happen. But I was just listening to your conversation. I look at the Sixers. If I'm LeBron, with all that young talent, their roster's better than what we have here in the Bay. And it didn't happen the next 48 to 72 hours. And now I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, we're thinking he's not coming here. And now you look at this roster, which is devoid of what I like to say, Chris, and call Thundercats. I don't know if LeBron's coming to the Bay, and every second that goes by without that announcement, we're feeling like, you know what, he might not be coming.
Daryl, doesn't this feel a little bit like just the comfortable option for LeBron? Go play with Steph, play with Dre, Steve Kerr will coach him up a little bit here and there. It feels like you've been on vacation for a week and you've done a million different things and you finally just decide, you know what, we're just going to lay by the pool for the final day of vacation. That's what it feels like the Warriors are as an option for LeBron.
No doubt about it, but I will say this. The guy's 41 years old, and he still got something in the tank. We all know that. Steph Curry came out of nowhere, and I thought LeBron James, this is just me being an NBA psychologist, I thought he resented Steph because how many rings, let's be honest, would LeBron James have if Steph Curry and the Warriors didn't come out anywhere to get those 4? So I'll leave that there. But now you're telling me, Chris, on the back 9, he's going to come join the Golden State Warriors and Steph and share. I'm being proactive. If they were to win and he was to get the 5th title, he's got to share that number 5 with Steph Curry. So to me, I just think LeBron James is a killer, and he wouldn't want to do it for the fun of it, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. Daryl the Guru Johnson, catch him middays on 95.7 The Game in San Francisco as a part of Steiny and Guru inside your Odyssey app. So if it doesn't make them legit championship contenders, and I don't know if you think it does or not, Daryl, what is what is the point of this for Golden State? Is it just to sell more tickets towards the end of the Steph Draymond era? Is it because do they actually have a belief inside the organization that LeBron would elevate them to Western Conference contender status in a conference that already possesses San Antonio, OKC, and Denver for that matter?
No, that's a great question. And my partner, Matt Steinmetz, always makes fun of me every day because he calls me a dreamer. And I've just stepped back and looked at it like 31-year-old LeBron James with this Warrior roster, he could carry the load. We would have action in the West. But at 41, and with what we don't have in regard to Moses Moody at the start of the season, if at all, Jimmy Butler missing a big part of the season, I just don't see it. But you gotta, that's the $1 million question. Why and what would he get coming here? And for your point being made about the seats, Steph Curry, when he plays and is not affected by that runner's knee, he's still box office. But damn it, I got to believe the King still wants to win. The Warriors must think amongst themselves with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, that if LeBron James can come here, be the grown-up in the room, handle the ball, because the Warriors were just killed by turnovers last year. Mike Dunleavy and Steve Kerr at every turn have talked about, they got to put an emphasis on that. LeBron James does do that. But outside of that, we don't have any bigs. We don't got Thundercats on the wing, so I'm hoping and dreaming that he comes here, but I just don't see it if he does sign, what that does for us outside of the clicks, the coverage. But with Steph Curry, we already have that, and you can look at how many national televised games the Warriors had last year without LeBron. So to me, that itch was already scratched last year. Like, we don't need him for that. We're trying to get out of the damn play-in.
Daryl the Guru Johnson from 95.7 The Game in San Francisco. Before I let you run, Daryl, and enjoy the rest of your morning, I've been asking everybody to this point as we play the LeBronchler. To give me just a number, percentage chance LeBron is with the Warriors next year.
You know, I'm a nerd, so I love uniforms and numbers. There was an old quarterback in Seattle, David Craig, and he wore number 17. So I'm going to go 17%, Chris Mack. 17%, and shout out Chris Mullen, 17% that LeBron James is a Golden State Warrior. And I hope I'm wrong.
Great stuff, Daryl. We appreciate the time. I'll catch up with you soon.
All right. You have a good day. Thanks.
You too. Daryl the Guru Johnson. Catch him middays on 95.7 The Game. Steiny and Guru in San Francisco inside your Odyssey app, AUDACY. We have crisscrossed the country from Cleveland to Philly, all the way out to the West Coast in the Bay Area. And now we take it down to South Florida to talk to Alejandro Solana. Afternoons, 104.3 WQAM in Miami. Alejandro, good morning. Thanks for joining us on the season finale of the LeBronchler. Who will accept this rose? Who will LeBron choose? Let me ask you first and foremost. Pat Riley said he left a key under the doormat for LeBron. Is Pat Riley really willing to go all in to bring LeBron in? And does he think it makes the Heat championship contenders?
Hey, great to join you. I'm glad you didn't call it South Beach to upset any of the Miami fans who take that so serious. I think Pat Riley is willing to go all in. This, to me, always felt like Pat Riley's last hurrah, his last opportunity to go all in on star power. Nobody loves a star. Nobody loves a whale to pull out the harpoon and bring in the whale more than Pat Riley. And arguably at this stage of his career, with the questions kind of looming over the Jimmy Butler era, where it felt, at least locally here, like Miami was never able to maximize that era, and missing out on Kevin Durant and Giannis in the past and the Damian Lillard trade. This felt like Pat Riley's final opportunity to go and successfully harpoon his whale. He did that with Giannis Antetokounmpo, giving up a massive amount of capital and assets moving forward into the future. But why stop there if you're Pat Riley? He's done this before. He's been able to lure LeBron down to South Florida in the past. And to me, he's not looking just for Giannis. He's looking for the big prize. He's looking for the full course. And that's teaming up with LeBron James. And once again, coming away from this free agency offseason period as the big winners in the NBA.
Alejandro Solana, afternoons, 104.3 WQAM in Miami, inside your Odyssey app as well. Let me ask you this, Alejandro. Do Heat fans, the organization, those of you in the media down there in South Florida, how legitimate is the worry that even if they go out and get LeBron, backing up the Giannis Antetokounmpo deal, they go out and get LeBron, and that's great. You've got Bam, you've got Giannis, you've got LeBron. They still don't have anything in the backcourt.
Yeah, and I think, the question about spacing around Bam and Giannis is a fair one. Miami did go, and they did get Tim Hardaway Jr. He's coming off arguably his best season in terms of shooting and percentages last year. And you have to consider the fact that he played alongside the Joker, and that's going to help any shooter, right? Just to create that spacing, create those open looks, and create that dynamic where if you're a shooter and you're having a good season, the Joker's going to find you and there's going to be opportunities for it. I think there's a similar path to that playing alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo this year as long as he remains healthy. And that's another concern internally and locally down here as well. I work on the Miami Heat radio network as the pre-halftime and post-game host. And obviously the excitement is there, but it's a cautious optimism right now, considering you don't know what that final roster is going to look like. But I think the additions of Bobby Portis, who, to me is that ultimate glue guy who can also help the front court and can definitely be used as a stretch big and to help with the spacing. That's a good addition there. And when you talk about the backcourt, I mean, Miami was very happy with how Davion Mitchell looked a season ago. He's not a superstar point guard. He's not an all-star point guard, but he's willing to accept any role that's given to him. If he's just got to be that on-ball defensive stopper, which he's known for, he's willing to do that. But last year, as a starting point guard, he was top 5 in the NBA in points to assist ratio. So that's something that they're hoping will continue to grow and maybe see another level to his game expand. And on the other end, you also have a guy like Pelle Larsson,
who last year in his second year was a second-round pick a couple seasons ago, and he took a big step forward as well. So I don't think there's as much worry about depth as maybe those outside of South Florida feel like there is. I'm not saying this roster, is the best roster in the NBA around Giannis Antetokounmpo or Bam Adebayo. They've still got to figure out, Eric Spoelstra has his hands full figuring out how to maximize that front court. But when you just talk about Giannis, when he's healthy, when he's able to be on the floor for most of the season, guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., guys like Davion Mitchell, guys like Bobby Portis and Pelle Larsson, they kind of get pushed forward playing alongside Giannis and everything he's able to do with drawing bodies into the paint. So to me, if you do end up keeping Andrew Wiggins, and even if LeBron does or doesn't come here, the idea that you can play through Giannis and you can have him just be the guy that's been in the paint religiously throughout his career and open up opportunities for I think the Heat are feeling pretty good about where they're at right now. Would they like to add some more shooting around Giannis Antetokounmpo? There's no doubt about it. And there's several names that have been tossed out there, whether it's Chris Middleton or maybe Klay Thompson on a buyout. I mean, there's just so many names still out there that are available. But I think right now, the mood here in South Florida is that this roster is being built the right way. And yeah, there's some work to do, but it doesn't look like there's a tremendous gap if Giannis can stay healthy between the Miami Heat or anybody else in the Eastern Conference.
Alejandro, before I let you run, I've done this with everybody else so far. I got to ask, just give me a number, percentage chance LeBron James is with the Miami Heat this season.
I think it's a 40% chance. To me, it always felt, gut feeling, by the way, this isn't a report, but the gut feeling to me was always that, look, the Warriors' idea is fun, right? Objectively, as a basketball fan, who wouldn't want to see LeBron and Steph Curry team up out in San Francisco? But I always felt like this ultimately comes down to LeBron James wanting to win another ring, put himself in a position where he can win another ring. And the best place to do that is not in the Western Conference, it's in the Eastern Conference. I understand the appeal of a Philadelphia 76ers squad, even the appeal of a Boston Celtics squad as well. But to me, and the Knicks, right? I think the Knicks, because of the defending champs, have to be thrown into just the appeal factor. But to me, it was always going to come down to Cleveland, where the storybook ending makes sense, or the Miami Heat, where I believe the fit basketball-wise was always going to be better for LeBron James. So I'm giving it Cleveland 60% just because it's Cleveland, just because he's the guy who built that arena literally and won them a ring, and he's forever Cleveland's guy, but also the Miami Heat, where it's proven he came to Miami, he won 2 rings. That's 2 more. That's 1 more than he won in LA. That's 1 more than he won in Cleveland, playing in half the seasons that he did in both of those places. So to me, he knows what he's getting here in Pat Riley in a front office that can build around him, that can put a contender around him, that can continue to improve the roster year after year, like they did with Shane Battier and Birdman and Ray Allen and all the other guys they put around him to win those 2 rings. It's 60% Cleveland, it's 40% Miami, and I still think that there's moves to be made that can entice LeBron James, and I wouldn't put it past Pat Riley to be able to figure out those moves.
Great stuff, Alejandro. We appreciate the time so much. We'll catch up again soon.
Anytime. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, Alejandro Solana, afternoons alongside Channing Crowder on 104.3 WQAM in Miami. We ended up greater than 100%, which I thought would happen. Nick Wilson in Cleveland gave us 60. Alejandro in Miami gave us 40. Daryl the Guru Johnson in San Francisco gave us 17. And Jack Fritz in Philly gave us 10.